This is the War Room with PMAC, presented by Chiefs Focus. On this show, PMAC and you provide you front office insight into crafting a championship caliber team for the Chiefs. They are identifying the right pieces to possibly meld together to lead to success this upcoming season.
What it do? This is the War Room with PMAC, where we are identifying different pieces, different goals that can be put together in order to win yet another Super Bowl by Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And that will be the first repeat in NFL history. So, without further ado, the host, I'm your host, you. But that right over there is the man, PMAC. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm good, Thiz. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm here. I'm a little tired, but I'm good. I'm good.
Hey,
Uh,
man, I'm right there with you.
so we're less than a week away from the season
Yes, we
where
are.
where the partying is well, the partying has been over for the players. So for us, the party is over. We're back to the grind of it.
Yeah,
And if you look back last season, it wasn't all, well, there wasn't a bed of roses, and it's definitely going to be that this season. So, um, yeah, let's get into it.
yes, sir. And I wanted to just say thank you for everybody out there who's listening. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the War Room with PMAC, presented by Chiefs Focus. This past Tuesday, the Chiefs finalized their roster cuts, reducing the number of players from 90 to 53. Some players will find work with other teams, some will join practice squads, and a few may eventually return to the team's roster that released them. However, the period between the end of the preseason and the cut deadline is challenging for everyone in the league. And there's some players who will never ever get the chance to play football again. Some of them might go to the UFL or the Canadian Football League, but it's a time when actions speak louder than words. And now the Chiefs have completed the roster, and the quest for the three-peat begins now.
No doubt, no doubt
Yes.
about it. So, with that being said, let's get into our first segment.
That's news to me. That's news to me.
That's news to me.
All right, we're going to get with our first part of That's News to Me, and we're going to start with the Chiefs and Pro Bowl center Creed Humphrey had agreed to a 4-year, $72 million extension with $50 million guaranteed, making him the highest paid center in the NFL. The new deal surpasses the previous record held by Detroit Lions Frank Ragnow. Humphrey, drafted by the Chiefs in 2021, has been a consistent starter, never missing a game, proving to be a key player in protecting Patrick Mahomes. Despite being in the final year of his rookie contract, the 25-year-old's performance justifies his new record-breaking deal. So what do you think about that, Thiz? Humphrey got his new deal, and
I hate it.
you hate it?
I'm lying.
Ah,
I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I
I'm
love it.
about
I
to
love it.
say, man.
Look, the more continuity you can put on that offensive line
Right.
to complement Patrick Mahomes with his unorthodox style, the
Mm-hmm.
better. So I've always I had once we drafted Creed, based on everything I knew about him from Oklahoma, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't I'm not as heavy in the college football as a lot of people, but I knew Creed was good. I knew Creed was really good. But
Mm-hmm.
then when he got here, you paired him with Trey Smith and then Joe Tooney, who is a technician when it
Yeah.
comes to the offensive line. And all we need to do is figure out what we're gonna do with the left with the tackle. I've always I've always thought he would get his extension, and the issue was the issue was trying to keep the full O line together, and only have to worry about your tackle. Then we got Jawan Taylor, so that helped. He was underperforming last year, but that's there. Um, yeah, man, I am very excited about seeing Creed Humphrey here for the long haul. What is that? What do you have the deal numbers at all?
The numbers
Yeah,
for Creed, his contract,
yeah. How long is the contract? I couldn't remember.
four years for $72 million.
Yeah, that's
He's getting
that.
50 million guaranteed.
Yeah, man, that's big money, big money. I don't know what that means for Trey, unfortunately, but if they want to keep him, they'll figure it out. They will
Yeah,
figure it out.
they will. And speaking of Trey is entering the final season of his contract, and Trey, who came to the Chiefs the same draft as Humphrey, he was third in the NFL according to ESPN stats and info. He was third in the NFL in pass block win rate at 96%, which is on the where Creed, I believe, was like number one in that rate. But
Right.
Veach, Brett Veach is going to consider finding a replacement for Joe Thuney probably in the next draft class, because also you got to look at it like this. If you let him go in 2025, you still get back $16 million. And then also, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Steve? You got to look at it like that too. Joe Tooney is a great pro, and I feel like he's one of the reasons why those guys grew as the pros that they are today. But it's the business side, like nothing personal. It's just business, and that's how it is sometimes, man. And also, you got to look at it like this too. Justin Reeves might not come back either, but he might get extended, but who knows? But you got guys like you got Hunter Norzad, who can turn into a quality starter with his athleticism. I mean, he showed he's better center than guard now, but he still has a good opportunity to do well as that guy, as a guard, like what Nick Algoretti did. It could help offset Smith's potential loss through free agency, but at a reasonable price over the next 3 years. So there's a good chance Trey could stay. Who knows?
Yeah. And the thing about it is, we got Trey at a really good deal, a
Yeah.
really good deal due to his health, which that has not been a problem whatsoever over the
Hmm.
past, since he's been drafted. Um,
Yeah.
so that was an absolute steal. And since he's been the guy that he's been, now it's going to take us, it's going to cost you to keep him if you plan to do so. And that's not to say he can't get a deal after the end of the year, um, when the new cap numbers come out.
Yeah.
But that's not a guarantee either, because you have to pay. Nick Bolton will be his contract will be up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
There's a couple others that escape my mind, but you might want to pay the punter a little bit more, knowing how
Yeah.
Beach works,
Yeah.
depending on how Ariza does, they'll probably give him uh, even more, or an extension of some sort. Because I think they only got him for a year. So it's just like you said, it's just business. It's the business side of things.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Creed. Looks like hopefully we got our guy for the foreseeable future. Um, because here's the thing. I'm only saying this because it's happened already.
Yeah.
Look at which I'm glad we dodged that bullet. Um, the left tackle for the 49ers, who is back in their pockets again. What's his name?
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams. His contract's not up. They just worked. They just gave him an extension 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe three. It's 3 seasons ago. Thinking.
Y-
No, it's 2 seasons ago. It's 2 seasons ago. And we were in contract talks with him, trying to get him to 32. And then when we went and signed Orlando.
Yeah. because that's the thing too. Originally, the plan was to get Joe and Trent Williams, but Trent went at the last minute at midnight to sign back with the 49ers.
Yeah,
So that's why we went with Plan B with Orlando.
He's a mercenary for hire. He's here for the highest bidder. That's it, and
Yeah.
it's fine. And to be honest, watching and we're talking about Creed. We're not talking about what we're not talking about. But he is the best player on it. I think he's probably the best player on the team. So
Yeah.
him asking for another deal is actually part of it. But I think Veach found a way to work around that. It took a
He
little
did.
while, and it finally figured it. We finally figured it out. Drafted 2 in 1 draft, 2 linemen in 1 draft, and so look, man, and it's leading us to where we are right now. So
Absolutely.
them, they got a plan. I just want to see what happens.
Yeah. So they got a plan, and just like with preseason doesn't mean anything, but I mean, you want to see some effort. But I feel like Veach has seen everything he needed to see, and when the way he crafted his roster, which we'll talk about a little later in the show, everything has gone out well. And speaking of preseason, for part of our next part in this news segment, in the preseason finale, we lost to the Chicago Bears 34-21. But the biggest highlight from the game is your guy, the undrafted rookie running back Carson Steele. He impressed with 50 yards on just 4 carries and scored a touchdown after his 131-yard run. Where to me, I thought he looked like he scored when he got in, but they were like he was down at the 1. But then he came back the next play and got it. And when I watched the franchise episode 2, I was glad that everybody, Pacheco and Clyde, was like, man, go back out there and get you one, man. And man, Clyde, I can see how some of the guys said Clyde is the funniest guy on the team, because Clyde said, hey, we're going to get another alligator tonight after tonight. And I think he might have referenced another alligator that they got on their running back room. So, yeah, man. But despite the loss, the game provided valuable opportunities for players vying for a roster spot. The Chiefs continued to fight, and Ian Book connected with receivers for touchdowns. And also one of the highlight plays was Montreal Washington, who is back on the practice squad, and he made a great play, that 49-yard play, man, especially guy for his size. That was actually more impressive than some of the other guys did this preseason. But one injury was Wanye Morris, but it was nothing serious. He left with a knee injury, but Andy Reid said there was nothing seriously to report about that.
Wanye always been banged up, to be honest. There's not a knock on him. Just he's saying they out. That's all. But yeah, man. And for those that are big on preseason, that's the tryout. Man. That's the tryout. Relax. It's just guys who want to make the team trying to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just tryouts. This is not a real game. You want to win, but ultimately that's not the number one thing. You got to try out your new guys, and you got to figure out who's going to fit with the team, who's going to stay with the team, who's getting them extra contracts, whatever, who's going to be on your practice squad, what's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good game. There still is a lot left to be desired in that third string area.
Mm-hmm.
But Patrick Mahomes, your starters weren't out there. You never know how they could miss their starters. So,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things you got to go through. The preseason is a necessary evil.
Yes, it is.
But it is, but it's still necessary. So you got to go through it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, man, especially with certain situations here, man, and this really added more, not controversy, but it added more fuel to the fire about like the receiving room and how it's going to be shaped. Because on top of that, after all of that, then on Monday, a shocking like WWE like return like promo just happened for the Chiefs, and that is the Chiefs bringing back Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought him back, who was the top wide receiver for the Chiefs during our Super Bowl campaign in 2022. He joined the Chiefs for practice on Monday. The 27-year-old previously played for the Chiefs, contributing 78 catches for 933 yards and 3 touchdowns during that season. Afterward, he signed with the Patriots, but struggled with injuries last season with the Patriots. Juju Smith-Schuster provides experienced depth to a crowded receiving group that includes second-year standout Rashee Rice, potential big play rookie threat Xavier Worthy, and veteran Marquise Brown, who is recovering from his shoulder injury. So, what's your thoughts about bringing back Juju?
Okay. Let me preface it by saying
Okay.
I have to temper my expectations.
Okay.
This ain't the same guy that you signed from.
Right.
From this guy. Right? Yeah, he's with this guy.
Yeah.
This isn't that dude.
It ain't the same guy from Pittsburgh years ago when he was playing with Antonio Brown.
He's not the same guy you got last year.
Yes.
Understand that he is now in probably the 4th or 5th receiver.
And that's fine.
Which is what he needs to be in this big age of his. Also, you got to understand, he's had problems with his injuries. He had them when he was with the Chiefs.
He did.
He wasn't, let's make it clear, he wasn't there owning or anything like that. But
no.
He did have significant injuries that even prevented him from getting 1,000 yards just 3 seasons ago. So, as long as we temper our expectations, I think we're fine. I don't think that he will be 1,000-yard guy. We might not even. I'm not the only guy. 2 guys I expect to get 1,000 yards if all goes well. That definitely be out. Those are the 2.
Yeah.
Hollywood's gonna be out for some time, and because of the injury, and Juju's just not that guy anymore.
No.
So I think the offense flows, obviously and it will flow with what she got. And it sounds like but yeah. Having Juju, I told somebody else this recently. What it does to me is raises the floor of the receiver. Because after Kelsey, who's not in the receiver, he's a tight end, but we're going to put him in Travis, Rashee, Hollywood. There's those 3 guys. I think either then before the injury, you could put all of them possibly in the close to 1,000-yard category. But after that, I don't think you had a guy that was going to raise the level of competition anywhere else.
Right.
I didn't think so. I could have been wrong. I can be wrong. And I'd be happy to be wrong. But Juju raises the floor.
He does.
I don't think it's 1,000 yards, but getting another, besides Nicole, because Nicole had 700 yards,
right.
He had a full season. So I think expecting 700 might be a little bit much for Juju.
Right.
We expect 500 or 600, and if he gives you more than that, it's because it's surprise. But I think, like I said, it does.
Right. And this is what I was going to say. I think with Juju, it's like this. I think that, one, he's a improvement from Watson, which is no shade at Justin Watson at all, because Justin Watson, I think, is one of the best route runners on the team. But Juju, to me, is a better safety blanket than Justin Watson. But then you also remember Rashee Rice took over Juju's role from what he did in 2022. But with him back in the fold, he does raised the bar for those guys in that room. And as a matter of fact, I think he's going to be like the veteran in that room for those guys. So, yeah, man, I'm happy to bring back Juju because I think he's more of a like 20, 30 catch guy. The most he could probably get is like at 400-yard mark to me, even being like wide receiver 4 or 5. And that's still good because everybody in that receiving room is getting the share of the ball, which is great.
Look, I was trying to respect what he once was, but I think you were closer to what he probably is.
Yeah.
500 yards, 400 yards. And I don't think you're going to get much more than that. Anybody as wide receiver. I don't think you're going to get any more than that.
Yeah.
But even still, he's an upgrade from Justin Watt.
Because like the only knock on Watson to me is just his catch rate is just like one of the lowest. And I mean, it's because of the drops that he's had. And even though he didn't have as many drops, it's just that the opportunities, when those drops happen, it doesn't look good for his catch rate or his drop rate either. So,
not
yeah.
at all. But,
yeah,
you know, that is what it is. And I think Juju, like I said, raises the floor. So
yeah.
It helps when you need something different. You know, and with a guy as tall as Juju and more theoretically more physical, you should be able to do a little bit more. Because we got a lot of small, fast guys with Hollywood and David. Then you got McCall, who's a little bit taller, but not that much. You got Juju, you're big, bit more physical presence that can work in the middle. So, you know,
right.
I think we're good on that. So,
yes, we are.
So let's move on.
All right. So there's one last part of the new segment before we move on to the next new segment. There was one trade that really got my attention, really, that we made to finalize our 53. And that's when the Chiefs acquiring edge rusher Cameron Thomas from the Arizona Cardinals to improve their thin defensive end group, because you got Charles Amani, who's starting the year off on PUP, who probably won't be available for the first 6 games of the season. And they said around like late October, first week of November, like return for him, just almost in time before the playoff stretch run for us. But the Chiefs gave up a 7th round pick for a player who was a top 100 pick 2 seasons ago. He was a former All-American. Thomas has had a good career in the NFL, but he's dominated this preseason, recording 3 sacks, which is more than any Chiefs defensive lineman had combined this preseason. Mm-hmm. And I think this move suggests that guys like Felix Anudike-Uzomah and Malik Herring may need more time to develop, especially FAU. And the Chiefs management's decision, especially by Brett Veach, was prompted by the lack of pressure from the pass rush during the preseason.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
I thought you did. I really did. And hearing or bringing in Cam.
Yes.
Bringing him in doesn't do anything but make me lament even more about that pick, because I think we were beholden to the fans. I think that this was one of those decisions that Clark Hunt really wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really wanted to get that 32nd pick. Peacock around a little bit, which is not a bad thing for him to want to do. His team won the Super Bowl. He finally got the draft in Kansas City. He wanted to do it. I really didn't think there was a good pick for us at 32. I thought we were gonna pick trade out of it. But, and you still could have got FAU in the 2nd round. Wasn't nobody gonna pick him in the top 50. I didn't see that. Let's put it like this. I didn't see that happen.
Yeah.
which I thought he was overdrafted. Now, could that statement look stupid at the end of the season? I hope it does. I hope it does. But I mean, let's hope. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping his NFL career ends up like the KSU, where he could get together in 3 years. And then, I don't know what that feeling is, but hopefully he'll come along right at the time that Chris Jones is possibly out of his prime.
Right.
So
Let's hope so, man.
I'm not hating. Please
Me
understand,
neither.
I'm not hating. I'm just trying to keep it as real as possible without being a hater. You know what I mean? I see what they want to do, but
Yeah.
last season was that time for them to be able to develop him. And if he ain't ready now, I don't know what he's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. And I think with a guy like Thomas, that's what he brings. I think he brings a little more than what FAU does. And I think it's because, like, he's like a young, cheaper version of Charles O'Montague, because a guy who could rush from the outside very well, but on the inside, he could be just as effective. And there's a guy who played in the 3-4 scheme, but they say he's more of a better fit in the 4-3. So let's just see how that goes with Thomas. So, yeah.
right. And the thing about it is, when you got guys like Chris Jones and Minihue
Mike Dana and
and
George
Mike Dana, all
Karlaftis.
those guys,
Yeah.
George Karlaftis, 10 sack guys, more than one 10 sack guy, you can take swings regardless of FAU and so I mean, just understand that when you
And he
got
played with
guys,
JJ Watt too before he
he did.
retired.
When you got guys like that, it's a lot. It lightens the blow of what that person could do, whether you need him to be immediately one of those producers on the field. So you got the people. You got the people to support if that.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's move on.
So next segment, we're gonna go over some takeaways from when the Chiefs are forming this 53-man roster, because you guys know by 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or 3 o'clock our time here on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, every NFL roster was officially cut down to the 53 players being active. For that to happen, well over 1,000 players lost their jobs in over 36 hours. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, some will find work elsewhere, or others will land in practice squads, and a few might even eventually wind up on others' 53-man rosters that released them. Still, the stretch between the end of the preseason and the cut down day is rough on everybody, especially the Chiefs. And at this time, actions speak louder than words again. But this is the thing about it. There were some certain moves that we all expected. There were some shocking moves that people did not expect out of the way, especially where there were certain players that were available, and the Chiefs saw that they could add a few more pieces to the roster to make it better, especially going on this three-peat quest. Excuse me. So here are 10 takeaways from my perspective that I saw the Chiefs did throughout the weekend to form their 53-man roster. And takeaway number one, the Chiefs cutting Ian Book and Chris Oladunkin wasn't surprising. I actually initially thought that Oladunkin would stay on the practice squad and could be called up on game day if there was an injury, which we hope would not happen. But that spot was given to former Patriots quarterback Bailey Zappi. Don't be mad, be Zappi. I mean, I like this kid. I actually like this pickup for the Chiefs, and I think he is a quarterback 3 from now. But I think he has that ability because he's an improved version of what the Chiefs had in Chris Oladunkin and even Shane Buechele in the past 2 seasons. Zappi can develop into a high-level backup while working on the practice squad.
First of all, I'm scared. Don't worry. He's happy. Anyway, number two, uh, look, having Bailey Zappi here provides you your yeah. Andy Reid loves a backup that knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
He likes normally he likes veterans. But Bailey Zappi could end up being the guy when Wentz gets out here. Because Wentz is only signed to a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I don't know if that's the plan. You know, depending on how they see his development going. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think that this is their plan is to make him uh, their backup guy for the foreseeable foreseeable future,
And I
and
like it.
part part ways with a talent like Carson Wentz in an effort to not only save money, but in an effort to also uh, have the backup role with um, as the offense. And that way he spends some significant time with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and stays in the room for a considerable amount of time. That way they don't have to teach everybody everything every year. He could be a Chad Henne, of course, to stay with the team theoretically.
Yeah. I actually think he could be better than Chad Henne, to be honest. I really,
Really?
when you watch this kid's film and you see some games, like when he was with Bill Belichick, he was more comfortable. He was really comfortable. But before he played us, or he had a 3 game sketch. Well, around the time he played us, that was like his worst. But during like week 12, 13, and 14, well, no, 13, 14, and 15, because he played us week 14 last season in that 3 game stretch, he actually was really good, but this was with a new coaching staff, and they cut him first that last offseason, but they brought him back as the backup, and he still came in and proved what he can do. But it's just those last 2 games last year, he threw 5 interceptions in the last 2 games of the season. He had a really good stat book because he's thrown a career of 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Yeah, that's one more interception than touchdowns. But when you watch the film and you watch his performance, you saw some improvements, but also it was with a new scheme and he played with Juju. So I wouldn't be surprised if Juju might have something to say about bringing him over because of the way that he plays. But let's say like with Wentz. Wentz, if he were to play this season, right, he still has a chance to offer us a realistic chance of a top 10 quarterback play. I mean, some of the West Coast principles we have on our team suit him well. We're talking about Carson Wentz. But when you look at Zappy's playing style, he can run a West Coast offense when he comes off the bench. And his main challenge is maintaining consistent performance, but in a tight spot, he's a reliable second choice, as what you saw in New England over the last 2 years. And he should not be able to compete for a starting position, but he would be a good backup behind, especially Pat Mahomes. And he's working with Pat, he's working with Carson Wentz, and a quarterback guru like Andy Reid, and also working with Matt Nagy. So this is why I like this move about bringing them in.
With Zappy, again, I just think that he's going to be a guy that can take over what Carson Wentz is leading. Because I highly doubt that Carson Wentz thinks he's going to be a career backup. I'm surprised he's here as it is, to be honest. I do think Carson Wentz thinks he's still a starter. Um, so he just took this role just to make sure he keeps the job. But I always thought that Carson Wentz was wanting that starter role. But I also don't think uh, but I also don't think that thank you. Thank you, Ruben. Hopefully that sounds better. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. But
Thank you, good sir.
hopefully what it does is uh, raise that level of competition in the quarterback room.
It
Patrick Mahomes is
does.
obviously QB1, obviously.
Yeah.
But having a uh, Bailey Zappi's not trash. Okay,
No.
he's not the he's not the third year Patriots Mac Jones. Okay, um,
Right.
but having him to figure out because he was with a few different coordinators
Yeah.
when it was the Patriots. Andy Reid is going to be consistent, and I don't think Matt Nagy's going to get another job as far as we go offensive coordinator is concerned. So, um, I think having consistent time with one guy, one offensive coordinator, one head coach, I think that'll work for him, and he could end up being the guy moving forward for the Chiefs. Which the more continuity that you have, the better. So I'm all
Absolutely.
for it. The Zappy move caught Ruben off guard. I ain't gonna lie. I'm surprised that
I can understand that, Ruben. Yeah, man. But to me, I
I'm
actually thought not bad. That's not a bad move because we seen him play already, especially being in games like he beat the Steelers and also the Broncos last season, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like,
yep,
okay, he can perform in those moments under pressure very well. And that's what they said he needed to work on, especially like being comfortable within the pocket, especially when the pocket collapses. And I've seen him make some good throws, especially I think he threw a deep one to Juju too, which looked good. And Juju being like downfield and catching like a 30-yard bomb, thought like, okay. And he played through his injuries when he was making those plays. So it's all good. But yeah, I think he can do some things and also have that good chance to be the backup for the foreseeable future, similar to like what Chase Daniel was with Alex Smith.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And he'll probably stick around longer because of his history and if he ends up developing into something significant as far as that is concerned, um, I think it'll just behoove him to stay with the team and just be a Chad Henne type of guy. It gives him stability unless somebody's offering him to be the QB1 somewhere, which is unlikely.
Absolutely. So now the takeaway number two. Yep, Veach doing Veach things, man. Hey, Veach is a wizard. And speaking of that, man, Veach with this takeaway number two, the Chiefs have a strong group of running backs, including undrafted player Carson Steele, and they added another one. Samaje Pingrine, the former Broncos and Bengals running back. And if you guys remember in the AFC Championship game 2 seasons ago, when the Chiefs were up 21-3, Joe Burrow threw a check down pass to Samaje Pingrine and scored 41 yards, which sparked their comeback against us. And I was there at Arrowhead that day. And oh, my heart sank into my chest when I saw that play. And it's great to have Ping Ryan here, and it'll be interesting to see how his role develops on game days.
Yeah, man. Like, here's the thing. I'm noticing that it's almost like an all hands on deck situation,
Mm-hmm.
where normally it's such a big room. Normally you don't see 6 or 7 guys in the offensive line room and 6 or 7 guys in the wide receiver room, and
Right.
then because that means you got to sacrifice elsewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, with that being said, man, I think that this helps um, I worry about Clyde just because he's been battling his mental health, um,
Right.
and you never know how that could go. Hopefully, everything is cool with him, but you never know. And P Ryan, I don't know what it is about. I hate it, but I enjoy um, those former Denver Bronco running backs. There was one, Philip Lindsay is one of them that
Mm-hmm.
I loved, and then Samaji Piran is another one. Like I'm like, oh, I'm not expecting him to be 1,000-yard rusher because um, we have pop, but I'm not. Look, we got all guys that can catch the football. That's
Yes.
the part I love, and it tells me that Andy Reid is out here picking up some stuff for the long term. And you're gonna need all hands on deck for such an early bye week. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like having that early bye week is going to make this year a little bit different. A little bit different, baby Thor. I see you, Ruben. I see you, Ruben.
Baby Thor.
Baby
Yeah.
Thor. But it's gonna having that early bye week is gonna make things a little bit more different.
Yeah.
So having more bodies to be able to take the load off of certain people is a great idea. So
Yeah.
shout out to Veach and him.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Veach indeed, man. So like it's gonna be challenging for us, especially this season, because we only have a week 6 bye, which will be harsh on the offense. However, having a rugged and reliable running game allows the offense to control the game's pace and often the game's outcome. So for the Chiefs this season, ground and pound football is essential despite having the dominant pass first attack offense with Pacheco, with Steele, even CEH and Pingrine. The Chiefs have a quadruple group of backs who can fend off of defenders and make big plays coming out of the backfield.
Yep, absolutely. And like I said, either you're gonna need to implement the run the ground and pound game on the first part of the season or the back half to ride us
Mm-hmm.
out to the playoffs. You never know. I don't know what Andy Reid is, but he's not a real running back type of guy. He's not that running back type of guy. But the
Yeah,
fact that you know they went and picked up Samaje Perine tells me that they understand that this early bye week could change things up a little bit. So shout out to them.
absolutely. So with takeaway number 3, man, I'm so excited, bro. The NFL doing everything. Oh, of course they are, man. And hey, we welcome it. I love a good challenge, man. I love it, Ruben.
Absolutely. Andy Reid
Absolutely,
too.
man. Yeah, man, for real. Andy loves it. So with takeaway number 3, I think we have found the winner for the final cornerback position. And then that is my guy who I talked about on the show last week, undrafted rookie defensive back Christian Roland Wallace earned the final cornerback spot on the team due to his impressive preseason performance. He played more snaps than any Chiefs defender, and he dominated. His ability to be a bully in press man coverage makes him a valuable asset for the Chiefs in the slot position, alongside with Shamari Connor. And then you also have McDuffie, who was just coming off playing in the slot last year. Well, he'll be almost on the outside full time.
CR does.
CR Dub, baby. Yeah.
I don't see nothing but if he progresses the way he should, he's our next Travarius Ward.
Hey, man, the Chiefs' success with them undrafted guys like Ward, man, is partly due to giving them the opportunities in training camp and preseason, bro. And this success, you got to give Brett Veach, oh, yeah, bro. Dude was balling. And just Ruben, go watch his USC tape. And I know he's going to be in the slot, but you should be like thinking, dude, he could probably play on the outside, man. And when you look at his measurables are very comparable to Josh Norman. Josh Norman wasn't the fastest corner either, but he was a technician. He was a bully, man. He got in people's heads. And
Here's what it does. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pushing it too far into the future.
right,
However, if it does work out well, which I'm hoping it does, that could be a guy that you keep for a long time because barring some sort of injury, knock on wood or whatever you want to say, hoping that doesn't happen to our CB1. Um, his name is escaping right now. But McDuffie.
right.
You already got CB1 theoretically right now.
Yeah,
So you put him in there, and then you have CB2. Like you got guys, and hopefully, this works out. I think this could be a move for the long run. I legitimately believe this is a move for the long run. So
yeah. So with that being said, that takes me to takeaway number 4. And speaking of undrafted rookies, not only you have Steele, you have Roland Wallace. Man, the Chiefs decided to keep undrafted rookie offensive tackle Ethan Driscoll out of from Marshall and release backup veteran Lucas Niang. Driscoll would have had to go through waivers, though, while Niang, who is a vested veteran, he resigned to the Chiefs practice squad. Currently, Wanye Morris is the main swing tackle behind Suamataia and Jawan Taylor, and he could step in while Driscoll continues to develop.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
I think Niang was given the best. I mean, given the best opportunity he was gonna get. To be fair,
yeah,
I mean, I think also real quick on a side note, I'm gonna say this: that COVID year was a kind of a reset year for everybody.
yeah,
I feel like all 32 teams did not evaluate as thoroughly as they wanted to, and some of them got a lot right, but everybody got a lot wrong.
yeah.
And I think Niang was part of that. I just think Niang was part of that for the Chiefs. Um, with that being said, at some point, Niang never really produced on field, and so what do? You keep going with the same thing and hoping for different, or you just cut your losses and move on. And I think that's what I think that's what happened. I think hey, we tried, we had a good run, and it is what it is. So we're just gonna go with what's next, and
Yeah.
Driscoll is what's next, and we'll see how he develops. He might
I think
be
I think
able
he could develop into a top tier swing tackle.
he could be, and he could end up being the next. Come on, Niang. He could be the next Niang. However, we run this song and dance with Niang before, so it's like we're just gonna keep doing the same things over and over again. No, they're gonna keep moving forward. That's what you do. That's what you do.
Right.
Keep moving forward. So,
I
um,
know, man. Niang, bruh. I know. I
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yep.
But
But
anyway,
hey, we keep it moving.
keep it moving. Speaking of that, so with takeaway number 5, Irv
Yes,
Smith,
sir.
Irv Smith Jr.'s unexpected roster cut was surprising to me because, well,
Mhm.
I mean, I did say that we was gonna keep 3 tight ends. I don't know why I said that, but just what was surprising about it was them adding another tight end,
Yeah,
which was trading for Cowboys tight end Peyton Hendershot, showing that they don't trust the abilities, especially in line with Jared Wiley and Smith, what they saw through the preseason, especially being inline blockers. So that's why they made the trade for Hendershot. And you also got Noah Gray in the final year of his rookie deal. So his potential could be insurance if Gray doesn't return in 2025. But the team values continuity, like we've said before. And Kelsey and Gray provide that while Wiley still needs to develop as the season progresses. But Hendershot, when in 2022, he was similar to like Jody Fortson for like the Cowboys, and also his special teams value is needed. So I didn't think they was going to keep 4 tight ends, but yeah, 3 or 4, the Chiefs have done well regardless.
yeah, no doubt. I was shocked at the Hendershot pickup, but I wasn't shocked at the Irv Smith. I almost said Irv Gotti. I wasn't shocked at I wasn't shocked at dropping Irv Smith. As much as I wanted Irv Smith to work, Irv Smith Jr., I knew that was a low risk, low reward situation. It was always what it was going to be. And I wanted Irv Smith to work with the Vikings um, back when he got drafted. It no, it did. And then the Bengals picked him up, and then we got him. So I knew probably was a long shot that he was going to make the roster. I think the Chiefs brought him in knowing it was going to be a long shot to make the roster, but they were going to see the cast just in case they saw something redeeming. But when they went out and got Hendershot, that told me that yeah, it's what we all expect. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
All
But
right.
I think we were. I think we plan on doing about 5 of these.
Yeah,
5
we got
takeaways.
we got about 5 more to go. So from takeaway number 6, there was the only question about the linebackers, whether either Curtis Jacobs could make the cut this year. However, the Chiefs decided to go with familiar faces by selecting special teams contributors Jack Cochran and Cam Jones to make the team instead. And Jacobs was picked up by the Patriots during their waiver claims.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not upset about that, dude.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm trying to think of the guys who I was compared to talking to, but I don't. I don't hate. I would rather him stay just because he knows the team, but
Right.
you don't lose a lot.
Absolutely. And with takeaway number seven, why do we have 4 safeties, 5 corners? The Chiefs use the 4 safeties in their regular nickel and dime sets. You got Jaden Hicks, you got Shamari Connor, who are going to be your key players who will need to stay on the field, with Hicks, starting at safety and sometimes moving to linebacker, while Connor moves to the slot when the opposing teams has at least 3 receivers. In certain situations, you're going to have Christian Roland Wallace, CR Dub, who can also join as the 7th defensive back in those sets.
Those safeties are very interchangeable in the cornerback.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they see. So you could disguise a lot. And if you look back, to last season, you saw what's our CB one?
Snead, and we got McDuffie.
Snead and McDuffie. They did this rotating thing a few times every so often, where they just took the quarterback's eyes, had to focus on them because they were doing something. So it looked like they were switching receivers, and then at the last minute they switched right back, which threw the quarterback's eyes off, and was able to hit guys like Williams. Some of the other quarterbacks, sorry, but able to get them to be more of a focal role, and
like Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson.
Williams, thank you. Joshua Williams is the guy.
Okay.
So being able to get them available to make plays on the ball and be able to either knock the ball down or even possibly sometimes interception.
Yeah, Ruben, you ain't lying, man. Versatile safeties, and they can all hit, man. I mean, that's the thing, too. And also, when you look at it like this with our corners, of course, McDuffie is the smallest, but he plays like a corner who is 6 feet tall, especially when you saw him play against Tyreek in the postseason. It was like, that was one of my favorite. And Deebo Samuel in the Super Bowl, he owned Deebo, man. He owns Jamar Chase, too. And, I mean, when you got those guys with the physicality, and then when you add Christian Roland Wallace, he's just 6 feet tall, but his arm length is bigger than L'Jarius Sneed. I mean, this should suggest that they're going to play a little more press man coverage this upcoming season. I mean, because with this approach, it enables them to react faster against the run and be aggressive as tacklers and pass defenders. And it would also help Justin Reed and Brian Cook and Hicks roam around the field to make their plays. And Connor and CR Dub, they will most likely, they're going to play the slot snaps, which will give McDuffie more opportunities in the outside. And, CR Dub, too, why he's the 5th corner, he provides depth just in case if one of the corners go down, because he showed on his tape from USC that he can hold his own on the outside, too. And McDuffie, I really hope that he gets that opportunity to be like that Stephon Gilmore, Darrelle Reeves, Defensive Player of the Year type of candidate, because he has that ability.
I've only got a few minutes left, so I think what can we do? I was trying to say we can't do 2 shows next week because we got a game next week. We got a big game next week.
Yeah.
We got the the season opener. All eyes gonna be on us, and I know that's your song.
All eyes on me.
Let's talk about that real quick for the next 5 minutes or whatever. What do you expect with the Ravens with this game coming up with our rematch of the Ravens? So basically, it's the AFC the 2023/24 AFC Championship rematch as the season opens.
What I really think that personally, I think that it's gonna be just like the AFC Championship game, but I feel like that I think we're gonna know more about them this time around than they would expect because with the run game that we got, they were probably gonna unexpectedly see it. And I think that we also know we're going against Lamar and Derrick Henry. So, they're going to try to run the ball, especially come up with concepts to trick us. But I think when you have Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil with the green dot, they're going to make sure that those guys are going to do what they need to do, especially when you add in guys and then throw them in the mix, especially with Hicks. Hicks also provides them similar to what Kyle Hamilton brings to the table. And I feel like they'll be able to shut down the Ravens and know how to stop Lamar because the passing game ain't going to do anything against us, the Ravens. And I'm talking about that. It's just the running ability. And I think we can handle their defense. So I'm not really that much worried about it. But I was going to do like my little Madden simulation later to get an idea of what we might see.
I myself think that they're not going to go. I mean, they're going to go heavy on the run because that's. But I feel like for some reason, it feels like the receiver's gonna want to show out. What's his name? The Ravens receiver.
You talking? Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers gonna want to show out.
Oh yeah, he wants redemption from that play. Well, I mean, okay, come on. You got to finish the play, buddy.
So even though Legarius is not on the team anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But even though he's not on the team anymore, dude's gonna want his lick back. You know what I mean? So I think they're gonna probably be more balanced than they were in the AFC Championship game than we will see.
Yeah. But I was just gonna say we got 3 more takeaways, and it's just home stretch on this one though. But I can get through them real quick and everything. So, like takeaway number 8, Sky Moore secured the final 7th receiver spot. Thanks to his special teams performance. And also you got to remember not only with his 42-yard kick return against the Lions, but I also think that builds up from what he did 2 seasons ago with that 29-yard punt return in the AFC Championship game that set up the game-winning field goal for the Chiefs. And he did a great job, but also we brought back Justin Ross, Nico Remigio, and Montreal Washington to the practice squad. And also we just learned that Rashee Rice's trial will be set on June 25th. Of 2025. So that means he will not face suspension probably this upcoming season, probably the next season, but that takes the monkey off the back this upcoming year for now. But that helps out at least.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. That also forces him to be more proactive this season to make sure that he's putting his best film on tape because who knows how long he'll get next season. You never know. So you got to do it right
now. Yeah. Definitely. So with takeaway number 9, so the Chiefs, like I said earlier, they placed Amani Hugh on the PUP list. And they traded for Cam Thomas. And to speak about Cam Thomas, the team is concerned about pressure off the line of scrimmage. And now, speaking of this upcoming game, you're going against Lamar Jackson next week. And interestingly, Thomas, primarily an edge, he could be used in the interior. And he dominated that, showing that this preseason where one of his sacks came from inside like 3 technique against the Colts. And Spags, I think you can expect Thomas to return to his natural position because of his versatility with his hands in the dirt. And he is a younger and cheaper version of Amani Hugh. And he could play all the same positions like Amani Hugh. And additionally, Spags, he'll tend to use all of his DNs on the interior. So you're going to see him, even Chris Jones on the outside with Dana on the inside. And there are going to be occasions where Carl Loftus is going to be on the inside because if you watch his Purdue tape from years ago, he was doing some things on the inside at the 3 technique. So I see Thomas doing that and contributing, and I think that's why they had to make this move because knowing you're going against Lamar. But with Thomas's knowledge of being in a 3-4 where the Chiefs throw out some 3-4 concepts. That's what you're going to need, especially needing a spy against Lamar Jackson next week. And that's why you got Drew and Nick.
Drew and Nick is where I was going with that. Absolutely, for sure. Drew and Nick is the guy that's going to spotlight the quarterback.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. And last but not least, my final takeaway. I'm happy the Chiefs did not bring back Deneric Prince, even on the practice squad. I'm sorry, man. But after all that I was trying to get out one of my guys, I'm sorry, man. But he's like the Kadarius Toney of the running backs, bro. Like, and the signs were pointed after that 4th and 1 play where I didn't see no effort. He was still tiptoeing, and he got shut down. And then when you saw Carson still take over, like, hold my beer. Hold my beer and take care of my crocodile. Let me show you how we get this done, son. He ran through those Bears defenders and then scored all the way. I know Prince was gulping like Mr. McMahon every time he sees Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it was just like, man, still showed it. And then also the Chiefs didn't keep. Yeah, thank you, Ruben. I'm sorry, man. It's just, if you really want to play in the National Football League, man, I mean, it's one thing to get stopped, but to do so without the effort or heart won't win you a job in the NFL or either a starting position or just a spot on a team or even practice squad.
Yeah.
Or any squad for any football organization for that matter. I mean, come on, man. You got to show better effort. But I'm glad they also kept Keontae Ingram, and he could be called up to the active roster of running backs. And just in case and one of the guys get hurt, Jerick McKinnon is still out there, so anything could happen.
Absolutely.
So,
like Jerick McKinnon is still absolutely a late bring back because he was. I understand why they wouldn't bring him back now because he's an old guy. You want him for the second half of the season. Absolutely, I agree with you on everything about that because he's had his chance. Dude had his chance to make the roster and be the guy, but he doesn't have a vision. He don't have a vision at all, man. He don't have a vision or the wherewithal even to make it, and it's disappointing because at one point a lot of people wanted to see him be on the team. It never happened.
Yeah,
not like be a starter,
but a contributor with a chance to show you can be a starter. Yeah. So Jeb by the phone. Yeah, he is. He's still keeping contact. He's still keeping in contact, man. So yeah. But that's it with my takeaways, man.
Yeah, with that being said, that is our show. We thank everybody for listening. We appreciate you and what you do. And with that being said, Philip, you got any last words?
Man, I wanted to say that it's safe to say that the 2024 Chiefs are finally complete. Our long journey towards sports immortality, aiming to become the first NFL sports team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls, is about to begin. And this allows them to prove that playing like a Chief means to play like a champion. And that's all I got to say. Let's go, baby. 3-peat.
Let's get it. With that being said, we're out. Deuces.